which he had
It's a new
a
day.
whole second half to do this.
It's a new day in Tampa.
I know,
Bay.
you
I
had
did
so
not have
much
to change
time.
my shirt. That is not why we're late, for the
Yeah.
record. Shirt's
But
been
that's a
on for a
great
while.
excuse, though.
Jimmy had to change.
This shirt's
Jimmy
gonna be
just
on for
ordered it.
This shirt's going
Jimmy's
to be on for the next 2 weeks. The shirt's going to be on. I might have to buy a little bit more.
Made like an hour ago. Get out of here.
And now our Tampa Bay Raptors are back as well. So congrats to them. They'll be the next to go to a championship.
The Tampa sweep is the Tampa sweep is real. The Tampa trifecta is real.
It's been boiling for a bit.
Tell you what.
They got a nice little baseball team too. Don't sleep on them.
Oh, they were so close. They went to the World Series. That's right.
It's not a bad time to be living in Tampa. No.
They don't deserve it. That's just gross.
They absolutely deserve it.
Well, they got they got a 2020 version of it, so I guess it evens out that way.
That's so gross. That's state. All of it. They don't deserve anything.
Imagine if things were before 2020, all those diehard fans, painted in Brady gear and all that stuff, it would have been a little obnoxious.
Dude, 1,000%. I would have probably went to 3. I would just flow down for the weekend, go to a game, fly back. 100%. Why not? What the hell?
For sure.
One of my buddies was down there. He moved down for a couple of years for work, and he got season tickets. He was pumped prior to the year.
Oh, he probably got locked in at the old price.
Yeah.
Well, a few fans will get in. All right, let's get into the Celtics before everyone yells.
You guys see the prices for the Super Bowl?
We'll get to Tom. That'll be a late show.
We'll get to Tom. So this was a game that Bobby Manning was very concerned about.
It was going to be a great game. I'm very excited.
I did pick the Celtics, but I thought it was going to be closer. So here we go again. Nothing makes this team destroy the next 2 games in a row. Looks like they're world beaters, into the playoffs, like 4 or 5 seed, and then they come out here and lose by 40. That's the NBA this year.
Yeah.
It is the NBA. Honestly, I'm not betting on the NBA right now. I refuse to because I cannot figure out who's going to show up on which game. Literally, which players are going to show up because of COVID.
I put a stop on it. I said, until we figure out what's going on, no more betting on basketball.
I can't do it. I mean, I expected the Celtics to win tonight, but obviously didn't expect it to be as lopsided as it was, especially after how the Nets showed up against Brooklyn. I don't even know where to start with this game. We can talk about Jaylen Brown until we're blue in the face, but I feel like everyone who's been watching this show over the last couple of weeks, how much can we say about Jaylen Brown? For me, it's still Kemba Walker is the story because he continues to impress me. Just with the health, he looks fast, he looks quick, he looks sharp. He's jumping around, he's pulling up for threes, he's yelling at referees, he's calling for fouls. He looks like the old Kemba Walker. So I'm like 85% near apology cam status. I'm very close.
All right. There we go. We're going to get one out of one of you soon. You know who I'm going to go with? You guys won't believe this.
Oh, I'm going to go with Tristan Thompson.
No.
You were going to go with Tristan
Thompson. He called him TT Joe.
You were going to go with Tristan Thompson because he had about a 4-minute stretch where he looked pretty good in the first quarter, and then he just looked like Tristan Thompson for the rest of the game.
He said a good
I'm going to go with Marcus Smart.
Fair. Why not?
How about that? And let me tell you why.
Wow.
Let me tell you why I'm going with Marcus Smart as my thing for today. This is exactly the stat line you want to see from Marcus Smart every single game. And it was worrisome because in the first quarter, he went out and shot 5 times. Tristan Thompson had 4. I was like, why did these two guys have 9 of our 20 field goal attempts to start the game? But then he just started to distribute. He was active on defense.
His defense was awesome.
The steals, all of it. Like this was literally bottle this and just serve it up every single game is exactly the Marcus Smart game. Field goal attempts down, 5 of 8. Couple of threes when they were open. Distributed all night. Defense.
Yeah.
And again, it's a 3-quarter stat line. It would have been probably a little bit more if he played a full game. So it's hard to say. That could have been 12 field goals or whatever. But that's what you want to see all the time. You want to see Marcus floating between 8, 9, 10 field goal attempts per game and distributing the ball, and that's what he did tonight.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. But to go back to what Jimmy was saying about Kemba Walker, though, the way he set the tone in this one, I thought made all the difference. And it wasn't necessarily about him scoring. It was, again, the eye test. I thought he passed with flying colors when he first came back. Now he's attacking, finding guys down low, but guys are slashing. They're getting to the paint. They're cutting high percentage shots. Of course, the defense is what was the story in this one for the Celtics, because defensively, that's the kind of defense we wish we could see every single night. If you ask me, guys, I think Brad Stevens gave these guys a good old spanking over the weekend.
That's who I'm going with.
Like, that's exactly what Brad is supposed to do.
I'm going with Brad.
Supposed to do after losing 3 games in a row, especially the way they lost it. If you're a good team, you come back and you come back strong. And it doesn't matter if you're playing the Cavaliers or if you're playing the Los Angeles Lakers. That's the kind of energy you're supposed to see from your team. And Kemba Walker, I thought, just like set the tone in the beginning, but then when he was off the floor, Jeff Teague was doing it a little bit. But again, guys like Shemi Ojale, Carson Edwards getting to the free throw line, absorbing contact.
We're not going to do Carson Edwards tonight.
I mean,
Joe Sway gets excited,
right?
I'm not going to allow it.
Yeah.
One example,
Sway's
Robert
X-Factor.
Williams. I'll do another one. Then
X-Factor.
Robert Williams. You know, like that above the top effort on defense translates to high percent, looks on offense. And I thought Kemba Walker had a lot to do with it.
I thought that was the story of tonight. You can talk about the Cavs having a great defense and Boston overpowering it, but I thought defense to offense was how they did that. That's what generated a ton of the offense tonight, especially those Brown transition runs. But I'm going with Brad. Brad just gets so much crap. Every single night they lose, it's fire Brad. He's not tough enough.
Okay.
He's got to get red in the face. Yeah, I'm going with Brad. The exceptional job that he's done navigating the injuries, the uncertainty to start this year, and the last week or so, he's been direct. He's been pointed in the criticism of the team. He's not going Bobby Knight here, but he's getting a message across to these guys that they received tonight and came out with a big comeback.
He was kind of doing Bobby Knight. Like the Celtics had a 20-point lead in the third quarter, and he's on his feet screaming these guys, saying,
he's getting tough. We talked about this in the playoffs. Maybe just a little bit tougher. When the team's breaking down, blowing leads, not playing defense the way they're capable of, dig into them a little bit, become a little more pointed in your criticism. I thought he called out Teague and Tristan in a big way to start the night tonight. He's obviously been calling out the team's performance as a whole. He doesn't think they're very good. He thinks that they've slacked on defense, all this different stuff. He's not going to be throwing chairs and screaming and calling guys out and ripping everybody every single night. But with his calm demeanor, if he does it his way on certain nights, you see a night like tonight, it gets received. Like, this was a team responding to their coach tonight.
I'll give Brad my Tommy Award tonight simply for finally recognizing that Grant Williams shouldn't play anymore.
Well, him too.
That's good enough for me.
I mean, he threw a little shade at him too.
Even in the 30-point blowout. Even in the 30-point blowout.
It's finally burying Grant into deep bench minutes. Okay.
Yeah. I'm so sick of the Brad overreaction every night. You see how many commenters we have that are like, Brad's not the one who's going to deliver the championship here.
That's
always happening.
That's not a Brad thing. Yeah. That it's just the history of sports. The coach is always the first one to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Players, fans are going to turn on the coach way before they turn on their favorite players, right? That's just how it goes. So, we hear it over here because we're following the Celtics and we're in Boston. But you go to any city short of
There we go.
San Antonio. What was that? Any team short of San Antonio, you're probably going to hear that. But yeah, you're right. It was good to get a little bit of Mad Brad, and we didn't really talk about it much last show. But remember, I led off the show, and unbeknownst to me, the show had started, and I was reading a quote of Brad saying how he was pretty disappointed in the way they showed up in some big situations in the fourth quarter there Friday night. So I'm sure he didn't
get out of here.
I'm sure he didn't just say.
I think they mean Tuukka Rask, not Turk's rank, but I agree. The Tuukka Rask comparison is a very good one for Brad. Just unrational hatred every single time they lose.
The meltdown on Friday was over the top with the
Take two. Tux Rask. No, still try it again, Pierce.
That's what I mean. Like that. That's
the Tuukka stuff. Listen.
That's always in the back pocket.
Nope, still not right.
Tuukka Rask is a great goalie, but the Tuukka Rask's biggest issue is that he showed up after Tim Thomas, who was an absolute gamer and put the entire team on his back in that Stanley Cup run. Thank you. There you go. And Tuukka Rask.
2 U's, but that's okay.
It's kind of the opposite.
Almost.
2 U's. Yeah, he still messed up. Tuukka Rask, the opposite, didn't even show up. I have nothing else to say about Tuukka Rask, but he's kind of the opposite of showing up literally last season, and he hasn't shown up in a lot of big games. Now, I'm not trying to say get rid of Tuukka Rask because they don't have anyone else that can play the position better than him. But you're right, it's a similar comparison, the irrational hate, but it's still comparing a coach to a player, so it's not apples to apples by any means.
These are the comments on Friday on Brad's presser. Brad's the main problem of the team. Brad pisses me off so much at times. Show some urgency or passion or something. X's and O's will only get you so far. Like, this is the sentiment against him. And we're talking 8 years of success now, getting better year in and year out.
Critiques?
Right.
To play devil's advocate, Bobby,
Kind of, but not really.
So what we've talked about, Bobby, isn't the chair throwing, Brad. It's the guys, we're going to do it this way, Brad. You know, like, I think the knock he gets is for being the guy who's, it's the good and the bad, the yin and the yang here. He's a trusting coach who wants you to go out there and make mistakes because you've said it, Bobby, a million times. He doesn't want to crush people's confidence by saying, I don't have you out there to shoot. But ultimately, when you see these late game meltdowns, shot selections late in the game, Jaylen Brown no longer getting the ball, Marcus Smart taking his shots late, you know, whatever it is, those things that fans see and they're like, why is this happening? You don't know who to point to other than the coach. And that's why he gets it, which is, Brad, are you telling these guys, like, when they go out there, you're supposed to do this and you're supposed to do that, or do they just get to do whatever the hell they want? And that's that's what drives people nuts. They don't know what's happening behind the scenes. So you would like to see a little bit more semblance of control, which is him saying the quick timeout, like, that's not what we're doing. You know, we're doing it this way. It's not the chair throwing. It's just a little bit more order and things kind of falling the way that you think that they're supposed to.
I think that's fair. Right. And he's responded to that to some degree this year.
So that's the
help with that,
he can't coach. It's that he's too trusting, and that's part of his philosophy is you're only going to grow as a player. It's a positive thing. You're only going to, but it works with a certain type of team and doesn't work all the times. You're only going to grow as a player if I let you just go out there and play and make mistakes and not be worried that you're going to get yanked every single time you take what I might consider to be a bad shot. He doesn't do that. And that might help the development of his players, but it also will drive you nuts when they're blowing 20-point leads late in the game and the wrong guys are taking the shots.
Yeah, I think what makes it worse is for Celtics fans is when it happens in the third quarter. Like, what's going on at halftime that you come out with this completely different look or different energy that you had in the first half, which I think is the case the last couple of games, or at least before tonight. And I think that's sort of been in the back pocket for a lot of Celtics fans, that Brad Stevens card to say, hey, Brad needs to do a little bit more, or why isn't he, you know, being tougher on these guys? But I think, again, I think something happened the last couple of days. I think what we saw, that energy on both ends of the floor, especially on defense, I don't think that's a matter of these Celtics players just waking up and saying, you know what, guys, I got it now. I know what we're doing wrong. This is Brad Stevens. You got to give props. You got to tip your cap. And again, I truly believe whether this is the Cavaliers or any other team, you would see that same exact energy. Now, tomorrow night's going to be interesting. You know, Kemba Walker obviously is a big, you know, the second night of a back-to-back. Not sure if he's going to play. We're going to have to see what this team does without him because, again, I just think he set the tone on offense. But from the defensive standpoint, the team altogether collectively was a huge difference in this one.
I'm not going to pretend to know what goes on in the Celtics locker room or off the court or in practice or anything, but just one thing we talked about last year in the playoffs is when the Celtics had a little bit of it looked like they were infighting a little bit. Remember how they had the team meeting and everything like that, and we were like, whoa, like, what's going on in that locker room? And then you go back the year before, and obviously there was a rift between some of the players, you know, Kyrie, Brown, whoever it was, you know, whoever it might be. So we kind of said, was it, you know, Brad is by all accounts like a super nice guy, very, very smart basketball mind, but does he command the locker room? Do our players not scared of him, but are they falling in line, so to speak, when the coach walks in the doors, or are they kind of, you know, they'll listen to him and, you know, they respect his basketball opinion, but does he have that sort of coach/leadership? And maybe that's something that maybe that's something that he's changed a little bit with his coaching, or the way he approaches coaching this year. Maybe the players are respecting that side of him a little bit more, and maybe that's something that after Friday night, maybe he, you know, put his foot down, right, or something like that, and said, listen, like, this isn't gonna fly, you know, like.
But this goes back to Smart.
Yeah, but Jimmy, I agree real quick there, Jimmy. That's the tough part. it's really hard for anyone to criticize because we're not in the locker room. You're not in there.
And I'm not.
Knowing
I'm literally throwing
is
stuff
he
against
doing
the wall.
it and they're not listening.
Right.
Yeah, but you're not. What you don't know is, did he tell all of these guys, "Hey, Marcus, take it easy late in the game here, and try not to jack so many shots. Really look for Jaylen if you can. Make sure the offense runs through him." And Smart ignores it, or he's not doing it. We don't really know.
But if he's ignoring it, is that Brad's fault that he's ignoring it?
But we don't know. That's the problem. It's impossible to criticize.
I know.
Right.
It's really hard.
I'm not criticizing him. I'm just trying to figure out what.
That's why I'm always reluctant to, because you don't know behind the scenes what exactly is happening.
Absolutely.
If it's a change in philosophy, as we kind of think it, as Bobby, thinks like maybe Brad did kind of think, I do have to,
I know what he did to start the year that spoke volumes to me was set out the roles after that preseason loss to Philly.
Yeah.
That the big practice, they hammered home that we're all not trying to push extra hard to replace Kemba in this first month. We're not going to try to do what he does. We're just going to do our roles to the best of our ability. And that spoke out to no one other than Smart. And I saw the way Smart played in that first month, more restrained, more off the ball, shooting when he's open, less drives. And I still think if you look at his total package to go back to your points about him to open the show, he's done a great job limiting the shots, taking good attempts, being a little more efficient in the looks that he gets, distributing the ball at a higher rate, and getting to the free throw line at a higher rate. He's still going to have nights where he exceeds what you would ideally want to see from him. But that goes back to my point a couple of shows ago about you want him to have the confidence, the freedom to exceed on nights where no one else is getting going. I believe it was the first Philly game that he went off and gave them a chance in. So you still want to have him sense when he needs to take that extra step to be more aggressive, and then have nights like tonight where he takes 8 shots and is way more restrained.
Yeah, no, it's fair. I think my thing with Smart is I don't know where along the line we decided that he is the guy to carry the load when all things aren't going well. I'm saying he shouldn't be really at any point in time, based on the fact that as a high volume shooter, he's such a low percentage shooter that when he is taking a lot of shots, it's always bad for you. You're going to have that one outlier Marcus Smart game where he knocks down 7 or 8 threes and you're like, whoa, or he has a game like the other night where he's hitting these lefty scoop shots over 7-footers. That's just not tenable long term. But I do think he might have struggled a little bit trying to be a little bit more restrained early in the year. And maybe that was why his efficiency was suffering even more so, because maybe it is a different role for him to know that, I shouldn't be just kind of letting it fly whenever I feel like it.
Yeah, but sometimes I think that you see times in the offense where he gets stagnant. And I think that's when you see Marcus do those Marcus Smart things. That's what makes you so mad, John, when you see Marcus start doing those Marcus Smart things. Because he's like, look, if no one else is going to do it, I'll step up. I'm not afraid of these big moments. I'm not afraid to fail, which is a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing when he gets into when he's in his own head, or when he's thinking that he has to take over and put the team on his back. But we haven't seen that this year. We had a couple instances of it, but for the most part, it wasn't. I think we've seen a different Marcus Smart if you compare it to what we saw in the bubble, right? Yeah. Where he was really, especially in the second half, fourth quarters, thinking, you know what, guys, it's Marcus Smart hero time. And it's like, wait, no, Marcus, you stumble into those, okay? You don't make a point out of it. And I think he did that a lot in the bubble, but I haven't seen a whole lot of that Marcus Smart. And we talked about it before, Peyton Pritchard's, what he does offensively. Again, like that's a good example. When other guys are stepping up, Marcus is going to take a step back. But when other guys are in the offense is stagnant altogether and the lead is, dwindling or the deficit continues to grow, that's when Marcus is going to take it upon himself. But yeah, what we saw today, that's ideal, I guess, John, but I don't know if all the time you want Marcus Smart to just settle, so to speak. I mean, obviously this game was a blowout, but who's to say that Marcus can put up 15, 16 a night and be efficient? Why not? I mean, realistically, it's probably not going to happen, but he has the talent to do so.
Yeah, I think what you said is fair. He's one of the when nothing else is going and everyone else is kind of stuck in one of those ruts. He is one of the few guys who isn't afraid to do it, and oftentimes maybe that is why he ends up doing it. He's like, oh, F it, I'll just go.
Yeah.
Plus, he's the longest tenured Celtic. He has that responsibility, or at least he doesn't mind taking it upon himself.
Yeah,
I think when people get frustrated with Marcus Smart, it's when he's giving you something that you're not asking for, and he has the ability to do so many different things for you. But it's when he's doing something that you don't need or don't want. Like if he's having a bad shooting night, please, like, stop shooting it. Don't make it one of those Marcus Smart shooting nights. That's what
Right.
drives
The
John
expression
crazy.
is shooters shoot. Not everybody shoots. Shooters have to keep shooting.
You're valuable to the team in a lot of different ways. You don't have to shoot to be valuable. So please stop. Like, it's not your night. Like 9 assists, 5 steals. I mean, he had any rebounds tonight, which is weird. But again, he's a guy who can be physical. He can guard multiple positions.
I thought this was his best game of the season.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree. That's what I'm saying. That's why I opened with it.
I know.
Because I'm that insanely I'm that critical of him on those games. I just don't want to see. I mean, we've been over it a ton. I don't want to see it late in games. I don't want to see his shots ever going above 12 field goal attempts in a game. And you want to see him distribute, and you want to see him active on D. He was horrible on D. He hasn't been great on defense this year either. That was another thing. Yeah.
Well, that's the whole team.
You have to earmark this video. So when John, people criticize you for always hating on Smart, you can say, nope, go back to the what's the date? January 24th video. I talked about Smart for 10 minutes. I'm good for the rest of the season. Like,
I'm good. I'm done. You know what else the people want to talk about?
You got it all out.
Brady.
This guy.
Somebody start. But I mean, he hit that first 3. Was it the first 3 he hit? And I was like, let's go. Then he airballed.
That was when there was still some doubt left in the game. I think they were up double digits, maybe 20 at least at that point. So that was nice.
We have these flashes, so we have to use them.
Yeah,
absolutely. These are the games he's going to get in. Okay, I'm sorry, he's not going to be in these tight games right now. So the more blowout games you get one way or the other, the more Aaron Nesmith you're going to get, and the more shots he's going to put up. And listen, 3 for 5 from 3. I mean, you'll take that 100 times out of 100 times. I mean, anybody in the world would want to take 3 for 5 from 3. So, absolutely good to see.
He's not far away in terms of getting playing minutes. The gap isn't ginormous between Semi, Green, and him when you think about it. And this goes back to our Romeo. That's what I'm our Romeo conversation. If he can put together 2-3 good weeks between practice and road games and stuff, and this is going to be a huge stretch from ahead, because when you think about a massive trip we're in now, you got a lot of time to shoot around in the morning. You're always around the team. You have walkthroughs, practices in between games, possibly. You're just more connected with the team on a regular basis. That this could be a chance where he makes a little bit of a leap here, sure he can play, but it's going to have to come defensively. It's great he has a night like this and knocks down some shots. What Brad's looking for, what he's stressing right now, is a 5th defender, and that's why Semi and Green have had some semblance of trust to start this year. They're getting minutes every single game, because they know what they're going to get defensively from those guys. I love Semi's defense in that Philly series. Green's been awesome cutting the lanes and all that. So I didn't see a ton from Nesmith to say he's going to break that mold defensively, but there is a line here where if he knocks down shots at a high enough rate, he could get into that conversation and, maybe carve out some things. So that's just my point, that it's not like he's in Maine right now and he's miles and miles away. He's just got to string together one game after.
He would be at Maine.
I'm sorry. I appreciate every Wire reference that's made, and it's not only in this quote with the man got to have a code, but it's the username of Fuzzy Dunlop, which is some deep wire stuff right there. So I dig it.
I got to rewatch that, man. I got HBO. I got HBO back. I got to rewatch The Wire. No, that's a good point, Bobby. Also, I think when he's shooting like this is really important for his confidence, right? Because that's what rookies want to go out there. I mean, let's face it. Yeah, if you make a big defensive stop, it's big. But, for a rookie like this who, again, didn't have quite the rookie experience like every other rookie does because of COVID-19 and everything that happened in 2020, he's going to build – his confidence is going to grow exponentially when you score three-pointers in the NBA game. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. It doesn't matter if it's garbage time, whatever. So it goes a long way. And to Bobby's point, being on the road, this road trip that the Celtics have, all that extra time being spent, whether, guys need to take some time off or Brad wants to limit minutes for Kemba or whoever, I think Nesmith's going to make a good he's making a good example of himself because of what he does on the offensive end of the floor. But we all know the defense is going to keep him on the floor. But again, that offense is going to keep his confidence up. And I think we're going to see more of Nesmith. I think he's going to impress us at some point throughout that West Coast road trip. We've seen that before, too, with a younger player, one of those guys who just sort of just steps in there, one of those games where he's able to just everything connects, everything clicks, And who knows? Maybe we'll see a 15-point Nesmith performance or something to that effect.
Yeah. What about? All right, fine.
I'm not even answering that question.
Fine.
No, we're not doing Carson. We're not doing it.
Fine.
We're not doing it. It's too soon.
What about Carson?
No, it's too soon. He's got to do it again.
I'll only ask it this because the last commenter made a fair point. Not a fair point, but a point.
What do you say?
When Pritchard's out, if you guys are tired of your Nesmith minutes, would you consider more Carson?
Oh, that's the only reason we saw more Carson. 100% was because of Pritchard.
But would you consider it over Teague minutes at this point?
No, not yet.
If Teague's point is instant offense and he's not giving you that and really not much else, would you consider Edwards in there? Because I think that's what Brad wants. Every game we've seen Carson come in a little earlier than you expect it. It's because it's like, let's see what I can get out of this. It's almost like, let's see if I can get him going. And you saw a little bit tonight. More often than not, it doesn't work out. But would you guys consider it? Would you guys consider rotationally sliding him ahead of Teague during this Pritchard absence?
I would consider it, but again, you have to bunch together these performances. That's my only thing.
I would consider it, but the defense would worry me. He's short.
You can't have him out there with Kemba.
He hasn't defended ever since he hasn't played ever with this team in real minutes. So that's a concern for sure. Again, I don't have any problem with this team's offense. They don't need more shot making. They don't need more finishers. Even Smart in that regard still has my trust and, of course, the team's trust in terms of being an offensive creator. So if T can defend capably, I'll take the 0 for 0 night like he had tonight. Like, I don't expect a ton from him offensively, and he's been decent to start this year on defense. They need to become great defensively this year. I still think they're more of a spot-up shooting, finesse offensive team, not finesse in like a weak, soft way, but, they're more of a skilled shooting team. And with that, you need to play some great defense because there's going to be nights where the shots aren't falling. We've seen that a few nights already this year, and they are so far away defensively that I don't think mixing in a Carson and a Nesmith and this kind of stuff is all that worth the upside. Like, we get frustrated with Green and Semi and when they're not scoring or they have those 2-point lines. But if they play capable defense all night, that's fine for keeping the bench minutes at least even. And so far this year, their bench minutes have been positive.
I know. I'm just a little worried that the offense is still a bit of a smokescreen with the way that the season has gone and all offensive numbers being up across the league and team defense, people being in and out of lineups and then just.
But they're above average. They're well above average.
They're above average, and you assume if they regress, so too would everyone. But I am worried. It's just whatever you're seeing now. Are you still getting that level of offensive, production in the playoffs or when teams are really getting after you defensively? I really do want to. I want to see as many scoring options establish themselves during the regular season as possible. I'm not content.
If this is Brown and this is Kemba for the rest of the year, then
sure.
I think so.
I'm going with Teague over Carson. No offense to Carson, but give me the sturdy vet coming off the bench. For now, yeah. Yeah, they've got a good amount of young guys or on the younger side guys coming off the bench. I want the sturdy vet in there for the defensive reasons. Somebody tweeted at me tonight. They're like, "Can you play over Teague?" Well, it's not a good sign when you start to get those questions sent your way. Not a good sign for the NBA player. But I'm not there. I'm not there yet. I was high on Teague when they made the signing. I thought it was a low risk, high reward type move for a guy coming off the bench and providing, a guy that's hurt the Celtics over the years, and he's not the same player, but I still think he can help. I think Carson can come in and score and kind of out of nowhere for you, but I don't really think the Celtics are in need of that right now. We just kind of talked about their offense, so I'm not sure of the value. He's a very situational player, in my opinion. I'm not saying release the guy, but I just don't see many situations where I would play him over Teague. And this is the next couple of weeks to me are kind of big for Teague. See what you got. I mean, if you find out that he's got nothing left in the tank, then you'll know over the next few weeks if he's getting enough burn. So.
Especially, and I said this the other night, when they get to the buyout market, if they're trying to bring in a TP guy, they need a roster spot. Green is part of this team. It seemed like for the longest time, or Semi with the team option over the summer, those would be the guys to go. At this point, if they need a roster spot, boom, you're gone, Teague.
Then Grant.
No, you stick with Grant. Cheap money years, that kind of stuff. Yeah, wow. Did he look bad tonight or what?
Oh my God.
he is lost. He is completely lost, and it's scary because, we didn't love him last year, but
we've broken him.
He was fine. Like he was a decent rotation player last year, and now and this is part of the silent shade that Brad's been throwing. Like they asked him about Grant in the starting lineup and whether they see anything there, and he's like, "Yeah, Tatum's gonna start when he gets back." And they asked about Tristan Teague so far this year, and he said, it's still early, but if at some point guys just keep playing better than them ahead of them, then they're not going to have minutes.
Yes. Yeah. Grant Williams, he'll be all right.
I'm not piling on Grant.
Even my bench, I'll be fine. Yeah, I have other options. Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Grant is being asked to maybe do something that he's not ready to do. He needs to just be coming off the bench and working his way into some sort of rotation.
This is what I like about Brad too.
No.
Someone just
dropped a Yabu comment.
Yabu. It's the Yabu greater than Grant.
It's
a very common, very, 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 very common.
Yabu.
He's not there. He's not that. He's not Yabu's dad.
Yabu.
2020 is written in terms of Grant's season. They use it. I forget exactly what pick it was. It was in the early 20s, I think. And he ended up being their backup center by the end of the year. And he wasn't great, but he filled the role. He played good defense last year. If he never does anything again for the rest of his career, that's a decent pick. There wasn't a high expectation for Grant.
Who?
They missed other guys, sure. Grant, he's already better than Yabu.
Yeah, just draft the other guys.
Yeah, but dude, that would be a terrible, that's a nightmare situation to be in for the Celtics. I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it's
but it was good for last year's team.
Yeah, agreed. But how can you jump off a cliff like that in terms of your progression at this point? It's your second season, and that the uniqueness of what last year was, I think would have been beneficial for someone like him to go into a deep playoff run his rookie year and be a part of a rotation.
You just say if Grant never played again, it was a good pick.
That's what I'm saying, right? Anyone else hear that?
I was gonna pretend he didn't say it and then give him a mulligan.
Should we do immediate? Hey, this might be the very first instant apology, Cam. John.
This goes back to last year and him not getting enough credit for what he did last year. He was a good part of the rotation last year, and by the end of that Miami series, he was the only guy Brad trusted when Tice was getting in foul trouble to come in and play some center minutes. So if other guys pass him at this point, like Rob obviously has, if he just gets lost in the fold here, it's still a decent pick because they got good stuff out of him last year when they needed it. Rob wasn't
wrong.
Maybe
you don't draft a guy for one season. You don't draft a guy for one season.
Were you ever expecting Grant to be a great player?
Why would they draft him?
They're drafting a play. There are NBA caliber.
This is what you say, John. At 20, you might get a guy who never plays.
But you don't. But Bobby, you don't consider that a success. That's the bust. That's when you bust the pick.
Especially when you do well your rookie year and then you come back.
It's a success if you get a guy who sticks and is part of your rotation.
I'm not calling it a success.
And it happens about 50% of the time, or even less. And there are plenty of washouts, but those washouts are the busts.
I'm calling it better than Yabu. I'm not calling it a success.
I'm saying Yabu was a colossal.
That is the floor.
Fab, Mello, Yabu, those guys.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Fab. Are bottom bust barrel. They get in. Those guys step on the court, and 5 seconds later, you're like, nope, can't play.
Like, oh boy,
no.
Nope,
what did
cannot
we do?
Play at all. Not at this level. Not in this league.
You look at the scouts immediately, and you just give them the side eye. Like, what
Giddens.
the hell?
Giddens was the other one. Giddens, 10 seconds into his career, you're like, nope. You could tell right away.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Juwan Johnson.
My point is, you got the one.
Juwan.
We won't go into this again.
Body type, he looked promising, look at the body type.
I know we weren't talking about Tacko, but you threw up a comment about Tacko. This isn't a game where you would give up on Tacko. Somebody commented that. It's kind of a
but you know what you know what you're stuck with on the Tacko conversation? You're stuck with there's a faction of people who are legitimately wondering why he's not playing more. And then the rest of the people are like, oh, it's fun when he gets to play garbage minutes. I don't understand the the press for Tacko needs like legitimate minutes. I think they got.
I cannot believe people think he's an answer for Embiid. Embiid is a league MVP, and you think the 17th man on a roster is going to throw
Nobody
him
thinks
off?
that.
I mean, there's a lot of people who
want
are
to see
like,
him play.
give Tacko a shot, and I don't get that.
He would have
Yeah,
gotten
there-
sent into
there are
row
some-
12, and Embiid would have scored 50 if that was the game plan.
Yeah, that's not the move. No, don't do that.
John.
Again, no knock on
You don't have to
Tacko.
put that
Yeah.
comment up and make yourself feel bad. You don't have to do that. You
No,
don't have
and
to.
that's what I agree with, John. You can look back on that pick and say there were plenty of other guys that came after. If they picked a guy, it could have gone way better. But if you're saying the past can't change, if you got what you got there and it just ended up being one decent year, it's an okay pick. It's better than a guy who would have never played.
No, it's a bust. But it's okay. It is what it is. It can happen. You don't hit them all there. You don't hit it, but one year and then in year two on a team that really needs.
Do they really need him? They have 3 other centers.
We keep calling him a center, and he's like 6'4". Okay, like
He was a center last year when
they
he had
drafted a guy. They
Stop trying to
drafted
make
a guy.
fetch happen.
It's not his fault, but they drafted a guy without position who played a kind of a college 4, and he's about 6'5". And here he's anywhere between really a 3 and a 4, and we call him a small ball 5 sometimes when he's out there. But the reality is he's really more of a 3-4, and you'd be dying for somebody to step in and give you quality minutes at that position right now, and you can't find it. You know, where you're going through your Javantes and your and semis and this and that because Grant can't step up and play meaningful minutes. So it's not we're not ranking him against the other 5s. It's what minutes could he be taking up, and there's a lot of other minutes here that he could be playing if he were better, but he's not.
Yeah, but that's not what the role he was filling last year. Last year when he was rolling, he was the backup 5 on this team. He was never the 4 last year because you had Hayward for large stretches of the years or others who were playing with Smart. Now they need that more this year, and it's not working at all this year. But I still look back on last year and say that was a decent part of last year's team. He had a pretty decent rookie year. So I look at that, out of all those picks especially, and say, you know, he at the very least was better than Romeo so far. He's given them a lot more than Romeo has so far through his career.
Grant is 6'1". The comments he keeps shrinking in these.
That's a decent hypothesis.
Maybe he'll grow an inch. Maybe like Tatum.
Oh man, he needs like 3 more inches so badly. But yeah, he's lost right now. Like there's really no case for playing him at this point, is there?
We need Sunday night positivity, guys. We need this.
Okay, let's go to the positivity.
A lot of people watching this. A little Sunday scaries kicking in. They want to go to bed on a happy note. We got to switch the vibe.
You encouraged by Tristan? Let's keep it on centers.
No, let's go to our boy.
Who's that? I can't see.
Jaylen Brown.
Oh, Jaylen Brown.
We keep talking about it, and people were asking earlier for us to talk about Jaylen here.
Yeah.
But we were texting on the chain. I'm legit out of things to say about him. I was joking. I was like, I'm worried I'm going to wake up from a dream and then he's going to not be as good anymore. Like, because it's just surreal. He shoots and you're stunned if it misses. I mean, he just that little stretch there in the third when he just took off and he went from 20-something to 30-something points. He's like, I'm just going to go score 10, 12 points now and you guys can all just watch me. Is that cool? And he just did it.
I think people heard the stat already, but for a guy who played 19 minutes in a game, it was the most points ever scored by that person in NBA history. 19 minutes.
I didn't hear that
points.
stat.
Oh, I only
Is that
sent
good?
it to John. Yeah.
Is that good?
Most points per minute for anyone who ever played that few minutes.
Damn,
Wow.
John gets the exclusive stats? No, that's crazy. That's what's up.
Yeah, well, you guys have a sidey? You guys have a little side combo going on? That's weird. Joe Sway.
Yeah. It's high
Wait,
level
should we
stuff.
start one?
Want to start one? Let's do it, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yo, we'll have some.
No, I see how it is.
We'll
No,
come
it's
with
all good.
some stats.
You guys are stat sharing.
See, we would have thought it would have been Jimmy and John and me and Joe Sway the way it works, but we had to surprise people with it.
No, man.
Yeah, we did talk about
Jaylen
Grant
enough.
enough.
You know, I think Celtics fans sometimes they get on us and they should in the comment section because sometimes we're talking about Tatum's performances in games where Jaylen did it well.
I had to beg.
Stretch that was a game changer, and we talked about it at the end of the show, sort of like we're doing right now. Like we're doing the exact same thing right now.
We work from the bottom up. We go Nesmith, Tacko, Grant, Brown.
Well, in a
You know what we
blowout,
should
it's
do?
almost like-
Hey, I have
Yeah.
a good idea. John, I don't know how easy it is to do, but can we pull out that preseason ranks and where they had Jaylen Brown at and see where the players ahead of him are compared to where he is? Can somebody do that?
It was 34. And I can try to dig it up and see if I can find it. You know,
Because he's
again,
been like this commenter says, he's been like a top 15. Probably,
yeah, we said it last time. I mean, this was my preseason key to the season. It was you know, using that these dumb lists just as kind of launching points for a discussion of if it's a superstars league, if Jaylen and Jason become legitimate top 10 or knocking on the door top 10 superstars, this team can contend for a title. If they're not, and they're in the 15 to 20, 25 to 30 overall player range, then they're also Rans. At this point, I mean, you'd be hard to argue that Jaylen Brown's not a top 10 player in the NBA at this moment.
This season,
I got the list. I got the list if you guys want it.
Yeah. So it's hard to it's so surreal. It feels strange talking about it. I almost feel like it's not happening that he's this legitimately good. We're talking about a guy who made a leap to start last year and then a leap during the year. And now he's made another one entering this year and like massive leaps each time. It's crazy. It's like he's just accelerating through his development. Like every 3 months he becomes a different player. It's unreal where he was even over like a year and a half or 2 years ago.
All right. So we got John Morant right in front of him.
He's better than him this year.
Probably take Brown. Lowry, Brown.
Murdering Lowry.
Trey Young. Young's probably got it. The way he's been off.
I don't know.
I think he's been off to a ridiculous start.
Okay. We're talking about this season. Gotcha.
You're not going for it, Josue?
No, Trey? I say yeah. No.
For
now.
He's been good.
Ingram,
but you know what though? But before I pick Trae Young, he's got to cut his hair. I'm saying it.
I don't think he'll ever do that, man. But
whatever's going on up there has got to go.
It's not working. Right?
I think he's past Ingram.
Working.
Brown is
Ingram's
way better than Trae Young.
McCollum.
You think so right now?
McCollum's having a phenomenal year.
McCollum's beasting.
And Jalen's still better, but it's close.
Gobert.
It's very close.
Yeah, I'm not a Gobert, and Gobert's having a good
John
year
hates
too.
Gobert.
He's having a good year, but Jaylen for sure. Yeah,
These guys are all having good years, but I mean, he's showing he's on these guys' level at the least.
And this list was also kind of a projection, as much as it is. It's the now and the future. So
right, exactly.
Kyrie.
Yes. Because
yes.
Well, if Kyrie played, who knows? But
Kyrie played the worst defense I ever seen last week. Siakam for sure.
That's not even a question. Siakam might not even be in the list anymore.
Jaylen Brown changed Siakam's life.
He's ahead of Towns.
Yep. Bradley Beal, probably not.
Changed it or ended it?
Jamal Murray, probably not.
Yes, he is ahead of Jamal Murray.
What do you mean probably not? Are you saying Jamal Murray's having a better year? Jamal
Murray's not having a great year.
Yeah, he's going the other way.
He did
Jamal
just
Murray's gone in the other direction.
And so this is part of our conversation with Brown now too. It's great he's on flamethrower status to start this year, but a lot of your status is going to be determined by what you bring at the playoff level this year. And Murray did just bring the Nuggets to the West.
Jamal Murray was nuts.
We're talking about this season.
But
no, but
right now, Murray's
all
down.
All right, fair. I'm looking at the whole package still.
Yeah, Murray's shooting is down. His 3-point shooting is down.
No, they've been pretty bad.
Yeah.
Paul George has been better than Brown this year.
Nope.
Oh,
you got to check on that.
I know. I've been checking. He's playing great.
I don't want my fantasy team. Trust me. That dude, I don't know, man.
He is
sometimes he's the guy that he.
I'm figuring it out. Bobby hates Jaylen Brown. That's the one thing I'm learning on this is Bobby hates Jaylen Brown.
I think he's on a lot of these. He's on George's level for sure. I don't think he's ahead of him. Zion, I think Brown's got him.
He does right now.
I think Zion was high on this list. He was.
Yeah, he was. He was the debatable guy.
Donovan Mitchell.
Going to make the huge leap.
Donovan Mitchell, probably not. I mean, he's
been better than Mitchell.
What does Mitchell
He's
do
been
better than Brown?
Mitchell. Do I have to pull up all these people's stats now?
What is Donovan? That's what I mean. Is currently what does Donovan Mitchell do better than Brown?
He's been putting that team on his back right now, John. And that's the thing. You know, right now you can make that case for Jaylen.
The third best team in the league.
Because Tatum is out, but that's been the last 5 games, and record-wise, it hasn't been a success if you're looking at that angle, right?
Jaylen was doing it with Jason there as well. He's
I get that. But
he's like he's sixth in the league in scoring. While and the most efficient, he's sixth in the league in scoring, in the most efficient offensive player in the NBA, and he plays defense. What he's honestly like, it's hard to argue he's out of the top 10 at this moment.
It's hard to not put him there because Mitchell's been putting that team on his back for a while.
At this moment, there are not.
Mitchell has been beasting.
At this moment, there are not 10 players in the NBA playing better than Jaylen Brown. There are not.
Hey, these are high standards too. It's not easy.
There's not 10 players playing better than Jaylen right now.
I'll tell you what, Shaq wouldn't try to punk Jaylen Brown like he tried to punk Donovan Mitchell.
What was up with
that? That was so ridiculous.
That was gross.
That was bad. That was weird. That was like
headlines either way, whether they're bad or good headlines. Like that was
I'll say this: the way I'm doing this, I think Brown's playoff track record and leading the team deep into the postseason has been better than Mitchell's. But I'm
not factoring in the past. I'm looking at right at this moment.
This season.
All right, fine. Browns.
I'm just saying, through 15 games, are there 10 players playing better than Jaylen Brown? No.
All right, that's the way I'm going to look at it now. Then.
That's how I'm looking at it.
Simmons, yep.
Better
than Simmons.
Yeah.
Chris Paul,
better than Chris Paul. Chris Paul's way too high.
Shout out to the Suns though; they're playing pretty well.
Joel Embiid, probably not.
No.
Bam,
maybe.
Bam, I would say so. Butler,
Bam's having a good season. Better than Butler, obviously.
Tatum.
It's close.
That's the debate. He's having a better season than Tatum.
He is.
Well, because Tatum's missed time. I think that's the only reason why.
But overall, he's been more efficient. He's been more aggressive. He's just been the better overall player. Tatum's been good, but Tatum's also held to a ridiculously high standard.
And I think he got Brown going with the pressure he takes off. Yeah. Jokic, no. Harden, probably not.
Better than Harden.
He's playing better than
Harden. The MVP this year, guys. Either him or Embiid, maybe.
Harden's not. Harden wouldn't be on the.
No, you're saying Jokic.
Harden's not in the top 40 conversation in terms of this year.
Yeah, you're right.
Bobby, next time we do this, John gets the list. I don't know what Bobby's looking at. I don't know what Bobby's looking at in this list. This is a bad exercise. This turned out to be a bad exercise.
Bobby's got just a list of players. He just wants to hear our reaction to it.
By the end of this list, Jaylen Brown's going to be further down the list than he was.
Like, we should cut him.
Yeah.
We're going to have Grant playing. We're going to have Grant playing over him by the end.
Curry?
He's
tough.
No, give it to Curry.
Give it a Curry.
I don't even know if listen. Curry's a great story, great comeback story, but let's be real.
I mean, if Clay's
there, it's close. It's close.
This goes back to that Mitch. I mean, that team stinks in Golden State. Damian Lillard?
Better than Damian.
Right now, he's playing better than Dame.
He's playing better than Dame.
It's close.
It's a great question.
Bobby, people are mad at you.
Better than Thompson?
Again, we're talking about the best players in the league. I'm not just gonna go, yep, he's better than Embiid.
Bobby, I look at it as like if he's flat out better. No,
all right, fine. He's got the best. He's got the best field goal percentage. He's top 5 in points. So, I mean, that's just a given. But I'm actually thinking about the roles and the teams and the weight they're carrying and all this different stuff. Like
you're overthinking. Keep going. How many we got left?
All right, we don't even have to do this. We can just say Brown's 5th in field goal percentage and he's 5th in points. So he's 5th.
No,
look at
as fun as this is, I think I'm good. Do something else.
Let's move on.
Do something else. Well, what do we got next on the docket?
It's been top 10. I'll agree with that.
Polls tomorrow. Tatum is back. That's all I was saying. Top 10 player.
He is back. Okay.
My God, you could have just agreed with me. We wouldn't have done any of this.
Oh my God.
Again, I didn't know what you guys were coming at from this. You're just looking at production, box stats, what he's done so far, and yeah, he's 7th in the league in points per game. So there you have it.
Yeah.
Hey.
That's it. That's all I want to know. Who's won right now?
Bradley Beal, 35.
Oh yeah, it does make me look wacky.
I didn't even think about it until now. Yeah, now it does.
Steph Curry, 28. Embiid, Giannis a hair ahead of him.
Yeah.
It's like you got just plants coming out of you. I just noticed that now. I didn't see that before.
That is funny. So
Goals tomorrow?
we're good. We're good with Chicago tomorrow. Tatum is back. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we let it go?
Yeah, Brady. I want to talk about Thomas Edward Patrick Brady and
He
the
wasn't that
fact
good
that
tonight.
His
Oh,
and he, I knew that was going to happen.
Jimmy's
He
about to
had
go.
an
Oh, I thought you were
unreal, he
gonna
had
go
an
off.
unreal first.
it
he
is
had an
funny
unreal
though.
first-
If Rodgers, if Green Bay doesn't go for a field goal or Rodgers, drives them, Brady could have gone out on pick
Yes.
last 3 times.
I thought for a second, I thought
Oh, it was a
And that
field
would have
goal.
been, and then
They got a field goal.
I know, but man, that would have been
Rodgers
I-
choked, though.
yeah.
Rodgers
I
had a
didn't-
chance.
I
Yeah.
didn't mind that decision because I kind of understood what they were going for, 4 timeouts and all that. And then the Buccaneers still almost screwed it up, not taking it out of the end zone. And I will give Brady this. He's getting it done in spite of a team that's not disciplined, commits a ton of penalties, turns it over, drops balls. So it's not like the team's playing perfect and he's slacking either. Like they're both just leveled out, and so he deserves as much credit there as anyone.
If Brady wins the Super Bowl, it might be his most impressive Super Bowl win out of them all.
I agree.
You can
The path.
consider the
path
fact this
hard.
is a brand new team to him. He had
Yeah.
no preseason, no offseason. Probably doesn't even know some of these guys' names that are on the roster still. And he takes a team so inept from top to bottom, like the organization of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and carries them to the Super Bowl. It's unbelievable. He's curb stomping the NFC. He has just as many NFC championships as Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees, if you can
Wow.
believe that.
He's been to more Super Bowls. He's been to more Super Bowls in his 40s than those guys have in their lives combined.
He's doing all this with zero. He has nothing to prove. He was the GOAT before this season. It's another feather in his cap. Everything he does just further cements him and makes it further and further impossible for any player to ever approach his success. Not even talking about football, all of sports. To me, I think he might be the best team athlete of all time. You want to get into individual athletes or whatnot. That we had that for debate too. But
Let's do the Boston sports segment and say, what does this say about the Patriots? How about that?
Tom Curran. I sent you guys the link. Tom Curran wrote an unbelievably spot on column. If you are watching this, go find Tommy Curran's Twitter account and go read the column. It completely nails the situation that the Patriots created with Tom Brady, allowing it to get to the point where he was forced, in my opinion, to walk away. It got to that point. People want to say Brady left the team. It's not that simple. Really, it's not. This was a long time coming.
They had every chance to keep him, and they should have.
People don't. Yeah, right.
And now,
yeah.
I don't think there's any way you can look at it, all things considered, and say they shouldn't have kept them. They should have.
And you know what? And Jimmy, Jimmy sent that link, and Curran's point is a good one. Everyone got their panties in a bunch, yesterday when it was announced that Detroit was going to trade Matt Stafford, and Curran used this in his column. And all of a sudden, every Patriots fan, after watching a year of not Tom Brady and the worst quarterback play in the NFL, for an entire season, was like, oh yeah, trade the 15 pick and go get Stafford. Absolutely. And so. Yeah. Okay, so great. So what you want now, what you so desperately want to do is go pay Matt Stafford what you wouldn't pay Brady, even though, yes, he is 10 years younger, but you're going to go pay him to come here, and he's never won a friggin' playoff game. And that's what you want because you wouldn't get Brady to market.
Just out of spite.
Brady's basically begging to stay. This whole, he wanted to leave, and it was the weapons. Yeah, kind of, sort of. But, I mean, at the same time, he would have rather had it work here than not, I think, is the general vibe. And they chose not to. And
Absolutely.
If you made it as a talent assessment, and this was my perspective, Jimmy, if I thought he was showing enough decline, even in the Super Bowl year, where they won, I wouldn't say in spite of him, but they won with him kind of playing at a non-Brady level, more with defense, a little bit of a running game. And then last year, he didn't look great. And again, a lot of it was the weapons. There's a lot of different things behind it. Right. I really did think he hadn't fallen off a cliff, but he'd gotten to the point where you could say, okay, move on. But you only could do that with a succession plan. It ended up being completely disastrously wrong. And right now, Patriots fans are there's going to be a lot of ire directed at Belichick.
And when you just wing the succession plan, the price is always going to go up. You're not in a position of strength anymore in the acquisition game. Everything, the prices go up in general anyway, but then you get desperate and make a move like this for Stafford or whoever else it's going to be. You trusted Brady. You knew he was going to be able to lead the system and make good decisions and work with guys, to some ability. And now you just have no trust, no faith whatsoever, and you're still going to be paying out the nose for whatever it is. It reminds me of like when the Red Sox let Lester go because they didn't want to pay for him, and then they just ended up paying more for Price, who was worse. And again, to bring it back to the Celtics, I guess, you're glad that they commit to Brown as early as they did. Because if they're like, oh, maybe we don't want to play Brown this much, it's going to put us in the tax, or it's going to do this, or it's going to do that, and maybe he's not the guy. Well, say Brown ended up walking somehow, or they ended up in a position later where they need to get a wing. You're paying for a Harrison Barnes. You're paying for this. You're paying for that. And we're seeing that to some degree with Hayward too. Like now it's like, what's going to happen after Hayward? Well, and you're gonna get anything.
You know me. I thought Hayward was worth the 30. I want to give a shout out to Josue's burner, who was on the live stream last night when Evan and I were talking about the Stafford situation.
Was he really? That's funny.
Josue's burner.
What was Evan's take?
Josue's burner got all the hot takes.
High sportual, yeah.
He's got it all.
What was Evan's take on Stafford?
Yes. Roll the dice.
Really?
Roll the dice at 15. If you can, because if you're.
What do you mean roll the dice? Trade it, or
if you can get him with the 15 pick, it's worth it. It secures the position, and it's a fairly affordable quarterback contract.
So you're doing that, and then you're also you understand that you're way more away than a quarterback. So you also have to make sure that you have the cap space, or I guess
they'll still have $40-50 million. They'll have a lot of cap space, but not as much. Personally, I favor the Fitzpatrick draft a quarterback, and then spend the money on everything else versus Stafford. Or I favor the get the veteran, get the cheap veteran option, and then deal with quarterback in a year or so, and then just load up everywhere around him. I would consider that too, because if you do draft a quarterback, you want to bring him into a situation where he's got some people to throw to. So I would load up. There's a ton of free agent receivers. I would load up. I'd go draft receiver, free agent receiver, and load up.
Oh my God, draft receiver. Why can't they draft a quarterback? There may be a situation where one of those quarterbacks falls to you. I've seen a few. I've been looking at some mocks.
I think at the end of the day, everyone you want, it will be gone before then. But again, we'll see what happens there.
You can pick one later too. And I like Stafford in that sense, because like the top guys in the draft aren't always the best guys in the draft. Again, I don't know anything about these guys, but like the ideology wise, I give a shit.
You got Wilson, you got Dak, and you really don't have much in recent memory where you have quarterbacks going outside the first round that have developed into franchise level quarterbacks. Those days are kind of gone at this point. People go get them, and they go get them early. That's why there were some drafts, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago where you'd see the second quarterback going in the 20s or something, or a little bit later. Now it's 5 guys are gone in the first 10 picks almost every time, 10, 12 picks, because you just got to. If there's a guy, there's no price too high for your quarterback. It doesn't matter if like a mock draft said he should go in the 30s or early second round. If he's your starting quarterback, you will pay any price for him. Just what comment you're liking.
No, Thomas, dude, in the comment section, Celtics basketball. What the F is this?
Sorry, guys.
Remember, our audience is in Boston.
What, though? Aaron Rodgers is a new name that people are starting to say may be on the move. So maybe Aaron Rodgers is a guy that all of a sudden talks about.
I'll go scrap deep if we have to, but so we don't lose everybody. Final Celtics thoughts before we wrap
up the show.
Here. Yeah, the end of the show. You get pizza, pickles, or quarterbacks. Or Patriot. Pizza, pickles, or Patriots, guys. Take your pick. Okay.
I'm glad they got the defense.
That's
together.
what happens late.
Great still pickles though. That's the thing.
I'm telling you, everyone's wondering where the Brown talk is. We were doing pizza and pickles over Brown while he was scoring 25 points every night the last week.
Okay, pick it, guys.
I'm glad.
I'll tell you about the burgers I made tonight if you want. Okay.
I'm glad.
They had pickles. They had bread and butter pickles.
All right, guys. I don't want to get too deep into this, but favorite burger spot. I'm Tasty Burger all day. I love Five Guys, but I'm Tasty Burger.
I don't eat burgers anymore, really.
Jimmy,
Um,
go-to burger spot.
dude, I don't.
He's like
I don't eat
McDonald's.
fast
Oh, you
food
don't?
burgers.
No,
I have.
it doesn't have to be McDonald's, but no burger. You're not a burger guy. What about you, Zanis?
I'm a burger guy. I'm trying to think. The last burger I had.
I like Five Guys back when I used to.
Five Guys is probably second for me.
For me, I think the burger game has changed a bit because now you got into these gourmet. No, because you get into these gourmet grinds,
Right.
and so like you get a burger at like Craigie Street now, and granted it's like $26, but it has like
Allegedly the
bone
best
marrow
burger
in
in
it.
Boston.
You know?
Allegedly the best burger in Boston, though.
Right, it's ridiculous. And so like these high-end gourmet burgers just makes it impossible. So if you're gonna talk about just walking into a place that's slinging patties on a grill, of those fast, sloppy places, I'm always Shake Shack over Five
This
Guys.
is so well thought out.
Shake Shack, okay.
Right. The highest end, the burgers are so good now. It's like basically like a friggin' high-end piece of meat that you're having.
Listen,
Yeah, we're talking fast food
Antonio Pizza Grinder in Springfield. Wow, that's a shout out right there.
Fast
Springfield,
burgers, I'll go
Colorado
Five
over here.
Guys.
That was the spot. That was the spot to go to for subs. Great shout out. I had to get that in there. Go ahead. My bad, Jimmy.
No, it's all good. I don't have a lot to say. I mean, I think if we're going like fast foods type, I like Five Guys. I used to get that at Gillette when I was covering the Pats a lot. But I'll tell you what, if you have a Five Guys burger, like the rest of your day is going to be going at like 40% capacity. Because those things are heavy.
People are legit furious about Bobby not eating burgers.
For some reason,
I do turkey burgers. I like them. I
Oh
mean,
my
I don't-
God.
I don't-
Yeah, you look like a
I knew it.
turkey burger guy. You look like a turkey burger.
I was like, yo, Celtics fans are not gonna like that. I knew it.
I had a burger at this place called Black. So I live in Charlestown. This place called Blackmore, right over the bridge. I had a really good burger there last weekend. So shout out to Blackmore. And it was very it was not busy or anything like that. So you don't have to worry. I didn't have to worry about being too close to people. So.
I never
You
had
know,
it.
for Fuddruckers?
Oh,
No, I've never been in
Fuddruckers!
my life.
I love Fuddruckers. That was my spot back in the day.
I never tried it.
Again, I ate enough burgers before to be able to have this conversation. Fuddruckers was always the spot, and they had a 1-pounder. We'd race them. Whoever could finish the 1-pounder fast.
Well, no wonder you don't eat burgers anymore, Bobby. Damn.
Fuddruckers?
Freaking burger
Where's there a
eating.
Fuddruckers, man?
Fuddruckers, the buns are phenomenal. The meat's pristine, and they got a great topping bar. That was an experience eating there. And I heard they just went bankrupt, so I'm hoping they're not gone soon. I might have to return the burgers soon
I gotta
just
try
to
it.
get one more bite there.
Yo, 99, Joe Bobby. Joe Sway, someone was throwing shade right there saying that you're a 99 guy, but I think that is the compliment. 99 is
What's wrong with
where it's at.
99?
Yo,
I don't know.
their burger is not that bad, actually. I've had it before.
I go with the Golden Fever boneless chicken wings at 99.
That's the
Oh
kind of
my
place.
God, dude.
That's the kind of place for everything solid. You can get pretty much anything on the menu. It's just going to be solid. You know what you're getting every time.
What's
Yeah,
crazy is if you don't live in New England, you don't know what the 99 is. So I think
No,
we're
just like
losing people
Cappuccinos.
on
Honest,
99.
bro. Most of it is you're there for the drink deals, Like with the food is just sort of like an appetizer. You're not there
That's
for,
true.
yeah, you're not there to have like a huge nice dinner that you've been thinking about all
At
day.
99?
Yeah,
Bro,
I
they
mean,
got
you
some
got
legit
99.
entrees. They got some legit entrees. You get the haddock.
Yeah, they're
you,
good,
you
but
can
you're
actually.
not like craving it. You go in there, you just
What's wrong with turkey? Do you guys like turkey burgers? Is that
I
crazy?
like turkey burgers. I like
Yeah,
turkey
right.
burgers. I'll do with like
This is-
avocado or
This is
something.
what you get at 99.
I have a good recipe. I'm gonna start a food show here on CLNS. We'll do some cooking. I'll bring
Cougars.
I'll bring my palate.
So
Bobby, let's do it.
what inspired
Put
me
on my
about the
text,
burgers?
Bobby. Tell me.
Fine,
I
we'll
was
do a live
watching
show at
that,
99. Fine.
I was watching one of the Favreau shows, the chef show on Netflix, and they did burgers. And the style that they did them, I was like, I have to eat that tomorrow. So I did it. It was one of these like kind of LA burger joint sort of places.
That's
John,
cool.
you could have done a whole episode on Jimmy John's podcast about burgers. It sounds like you've been thinking about this. You've been
Burgers
following
are my
the trends.
desert island food. Like
Yeah.
no joke. Like I love to eat I love to eat, but
Yeah,
nothing satisfies me like a good cheeseburger. I'll take that any day. It's it just sets me right.
What about the spot right across from the garden? It was brand new. They have.
Oh, we'll never know. I guess we'll never know what spot that
we went
was.
We went a whole episode without Brockton Wi-Fi, and we lost it here. We lost it right at the end.
I'll give you my.
Hey, burgers are one of those things where I love making them at the crib. I like to get on the grill, go to the butcher shop, get some good Wagyu beef, some Kobe beef, and just do it myself, man.
I'm so mad at my Wi-Fi.
I'm not going to make a pizza by myself. You know, I can't.
No, I did it myself tonight, and I did the right thing. I should put a picture up. I have it.
Bobby eats Beyond Meat.
Yeah.
No, I'm not that far, but I try to be a little healthy.
Bobby's going to have that hat next episode.
Beyond Meat is good. I like Beyond Meat.
Is it? I haven't had it. What's it taste like?
Everything tastes. The one thing I say with Beyond Meat is like it all tastes.
It's nothing like meat.
Yeah.
It tastes like kind of sausage, I guess. It's good.
It literally doesn't taste like anything you've ever eaten.
The thing about Beyond Meat is like it's not meat, but like it's still not really healthy for you. Like the nutrition factors are still wacky. Like the fat, sodium. Like it's not like.
That's probably why it tastes good.
Exactly. It's not like I'm eating so healthy. Beyond Meat. It's like no, maybe you're just a vegetarian. That's cool too. Bobby might be a sneaky vegetarian. You got something to tell us?
No, if I eat fish like 6 days a week, I love it.
So you're pescatarian.
Yo, yeah. I thought I had a landslide victory tonight against my Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's turkey. Yeah, dude, you had him until the 10th round.
You saw it, right? Man. When I saw it wasn't on
Those
anymore.
are the burgers I had tonight.
What is this?
Oh.
Wow, you
look at the jar of pickles.
Yo, get those pickles out of there. Wow.
Yeah, those pickles are, dude, that's NSFW, right? Those pickles.
You had a pickle sandwich. That's what's up. With a little
he put about 10 between the two burgers and then, dived into the jar for more because that was a big jar.
Yeah.
That burger probably tasted good, but I only would have tasted the pickles, and I would have been like, that burger tasted like pickles.
Red onion and pickles. That was it.
With your 2
bites. Yeah, I go ketchup, mayonnaise on every burger. If I had the choice,
and mayo, no ketchup. I put a thin smear of mayo.
You go no ketchup on your burger.
Double burger, smashed thin American cheese because that's the best cheese on a burger. Yes. Even though I'm a cheese snob, you have to have American cheese. Thin, double burger, potato roll, put on the griddle just for a little bit. For a little bit.
Yeah, write this down, everyone.
That was it.
I like that. American cheese should be on every burger. I don't know if you can say you're a cheese snob and like be all about American cheese, but I'm not a cheese snob. I do like a bunch of different cheeses, but when it comes to burgers, it's got to be American cheese. But it's got to be ketchup and mayo. I like the mix.
Yes, I was just about to say that ketchup mayo combination. It's good.
I'll do a little like onion strings too.
Yeah.
I'm not into onions, but I'll do like the onion strings if they're available. Like the fried. Like
amazingly, we haven't lost that many people, but we are
100.
We are upsetting the people who are now getting hungry.
Wrap it up.
Now, the schedule ahead is tough. Bowls tomorrow.
Yo, we're gonna do.
Yeah, we're going to be on in like 22 hours from now. So
yeah,
I'm not going to be here tomorrow.
Not everybody. No, Jimmy. Bobby and I are going to brave it. We are going to tell you guys we are pushing through the West Coast trip. We're still bringing you these shows. It might not be the whole cast. It might just be me and Bobby because we don't sleep. But that's fine. Maybe we grab Nick. We might grab some West Coast guests too. So we'll figure it out. But we are going to keep it
late night Nick. Imagine.
Oh Lord,
I'm worried about that. I'm worried about that.
Sleepwalking.
Nick at night.
It'll be entertaining. Nick at night. Yo, done. Perfect.
That can be our segment for the West Coast.
Nick at night. I love it. That's what we're doing. Nick at night.
Bulls at 9. Spurs at 8:30, Lakers at 8:30, Warriors at 10, Kings at 10, Clippers at 10, and then afternoon game against the Suns and a 10 against the Jazz. And the Celtics are at home. Celtics aren't home till February 12th, aside from that Lakers game against the Raptors. So this is a big stretch here. This is going to be hard. They're going to need defense against all these teams. Hopefully health. Tatum's back tomorrow, which is huge. So if they could go on a tear here, that's going to keep them among the best of the East, and it's what they're going to need to do to stay there.
The Nick Burner account?
East is catching up a little bit.
Yeah.
Nick's
I'll
burner.
check the schedule. I'm not gonna miss all those games. I'll pop on for.
Nick's burner is gonna say, guys, you should give Nick a chance or something like that.
Some people do really want Nick. You get a few of those comments.
No, there's a huge Nick fan club out there.
Because he was
he was
the first host of the show.
There's Nick. There's an army of Nick loyalists out there. They'll turn out. Our numbers will be through the roof. They just might not be in this chat right now. These guys only know this version.
Yeah, hold on. It's Nick, everybody.
Let me woo, 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 woo. It was like
remember?
Do we have any sponsors we need to shout out?
Oh yeah, let me do it. I got chastised.
Gotta make that paper.
I got
a
chastised.
long-time friend.
I gotta eat this week, so let's make it those sponsors.
Last time. Bobby, you still didn't give me a lower third for this.
I'm slacking. It's the weekend.
Oh yeah, called out.
It's gonna be your last show, bud.
We'll get to them next time. It is Manscaped Press Pass 20. You know what Manscaped does for you. You get the full grooming kit for the new year. Press Pass 20 is the code. Go there, you get 20% off the price of whatever you order plus your delivery. Press Pass 20.
I gotta give Manscaped credit. I was watching the fight last night, McGregor and Poirier. They squeezed in a read right between the opening bell. They were like, "Let's get ready to rumble" or whatever they say, and then Manscaped, and then the fight was off. It was great.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Bob, I don't know where you're going with this, man, but save it. I was
like watching the fight.
The other night,
They squeezed in a read like seconds before the fight. It was unbelievable. Like the guy in the ring.
McGregor got smoked.
Yeah, that was gross.
So I hear. I didn't pay for it.
I watched it. Yeah,
I didn't watch it. I didn't illegally stream it either because I'm not.
Too bad for Ireland. I gotta go all things Ireland. So I always back him. I love Ireland.
Yeah,
well,
he got
walloped.
Well, it was just those legs.
Walk for weeks.
Those leg kicks killed him.
Yeah,
he's probably done. Too bad.
Yeah,
he
was done. He didn't really want to do this fight anyway.
He wants the third.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know if I
thought he said he wanted the third one.
The winner said that. Poirier, he wants a third one. I know why now.
Because he can get paid. So, all right, we're back tomorrow. It's a late one. No Jimmy, but we will have other people here. We thank you guys again for joining us.
Here in spirit. As
always fun. The lovers and the haters. We appreciate you all. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't already to our YouTube channels. Tell your friends about it. We're going to be doing these shows the entire season through the West Coast trip, regular season into the playoffs forever.
Kid.
Yeah, subscribe. You get notified every single time we go live. We'll do that after games, during breaking news situations. Of course, follow us on clnsmedia.com. Bobby Manning, CLNS Media and Celtics blog. Jimmy Toscano, Josue Pavone, Heavy D. Josue, did you write something recently?
I did, and thank you for people or one person who shot me out on that one. I did.
He said he saw you on heavy.com. What was your most recent column?
It was about, the Pritchard injury, but before that, it was about what Gordon Hayward had to say in a recent interview with The Athletic.
The nerve, right?
Yeah, I don't know if necessarily if it was shade. I think it was just facts. And for guys who don't know what I'm talking about, definitely go check that out. What he had to say about his experience in Boston, which obviously was the most trying years of his career. I think that goes without being said, but you guys should go check out the article, see what else he had to say about it.
39 points in the game-winning shot tonight for Gordon Hayward.
39 and
9. Right? There you go.
We love Keith, by the way, Julian. So that is a problem. That is a possibility. We've had him on before.
Yeah, I've been saying let's get Keith back on here.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, TL Production. Appreciate you.
He might replace me, and I might never even be back again,
Keith. So when we were doing those preseason or before the pre-bubble segments, a lot with Keith. Those are fun, man. We definitely need to get Keith.
Keith's awesome.
Yeah, no, Keith's great. I mean, his knowledge obviously is through the roof. He might be one of the most underrated, least utilized, most talented basketball writers in the country.
He created the bubble, man. Think about that.
He willed the bubble into existence. But
LeBron has to thank him in his Hall of Fame speech.
Yeah.
For real, seriously, that's huge. That's in the that's going to be in an NBA encyclopedia.
And he's so humble, through it all.
Yeah, no, we're gonna have other people on for sure. We keep talking about it, but none of these guys will leave, so we can't open up any spots. Okay, we
Don't
We
say
like this rotation. We like this rotation, but we will fill it with some other people as well for sure throughout the year. But the Hayward thing is interesting. I wanted to talk about it. Maybe we'll get into it tomorrow after the game. But that was interesting. I don't know whether it was shade at the medical staff, but I mean, the fact that
I think it was.
The fact that he didn't get treated right, that's got to hurt. And if you're a player, there may be nothing more important than knowing that like the team who's supposed to be looking out for you is doing a good job. And he was so frustrated last year. You remember the first interview when they shut him down? He's like, I don't freaking know, man. He's like, it hurts. It hurts all the time. What am I supposed to say? Like, it was like, he knew he wasn't right at any point. It bothered him all year. So,
the numbness, all that stuff. But to be fair, there were a lot of people in this fan base who wanted to get rid of him, said he was done. But when he was out there, he killed it, and he's still killing it now. Whenever he is out there for the Hornets, he's showing he's an all-star leader of a team, maybe even a leader of a playoff team, the way they've been playing, and they've been a blast to watch. So he made the right decision, it looks like, going there.
Yeah.
He said something about Indiana, too. Didn't he, Josue? It wasn't as big of a deal as people were making.
No, he listed Indiana and New York as two other teams that had interest. And he also said, look, Boston was right up there. It wasn't easy. That's the part that Celtics fans hate to hear, but that's what I think is sincere in a way. Obviously, we know about him not being a featured player, Jaylen Brown, Tatum. That all has a big part to do with it. He didn't say that, but we know the vibes. So to put Boston up there along with New York, Indiana, and of course Charlotte, it wasn't easy for him, but he ultimately obviously chose Charlotte. So
the Celtics missed Brian Dew, confirmed.
Brian
Dew,
a legend.
That road.
Legend. All right. We will wrap it up again for everybody. Thank you. We are back tomorrow. And someone just put the reminder in here. You can always subscribe to the Garden Report podcast where you can listen to it. If you came in late and you wanted a little post-game analysis that didn't revolve around burgers, pickles, or Tom Brady, that's the early part of the show. You can pick it up and listen to the audio version of that. It's also going to be live on our YouTube channel. You can watch a repeat. If you jumped in here late, you can watch start to finish. We'll have some more post-game videos coming out later on tonight, including post-game press conferences. The Celtics are wrapping up right now. So again, for Jimmy, Josue, and Bobby, I am John. We will see you guys